It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. I love Dave Ramsey's advice from a personal financial standpoint, which is, debt usually isn't a great thing. And I'm all about getting out of it. But that's for personal financials. It's generally not for business financials. Business financials, debt makes sense in a lot of places because our business should earn us a 15 to 20% return. And we should pretty much always be willing to borrow money at 5% to go make 15 to 20. The other thing I like to look at our businesses as, and this is like an offshoot of this whole financial discussion, is if our business makes money, yeah, we can pay it to ourselves and we could take that money out of the business. But if we take it out of the business, we're going to invest it somewhere, right? We could invest it in a Roth IRA or a 401k or the stock market or this or that. Generally, the best place to invest our money is back into our own damn business that we control, right? If you go dump money into Bitcoin or something stupid like that, like you have zero control and you're just gambling. You don't have any better information than anybody else does. I'm not saying it's not fun to do. I'm not saying I haven't invested in the stock market before. But since I've been a business owner, I've pretty much stopped investing in the stock market directly. I still max out, like my wife maxes out 401k. We still max out Roth IRAs and kind of do some backdoor Roth stuff. Still max out a whole life insurance policy. So I'm like stashing money away there into different buckets for retirement planning. I got to get my financial planner on here sometime. He works for Northwestern Mutual and they said he couldn't come on and like give advice. And I was like, well, you can still come on and talk about your experiences though.
Yeah. I like the point you just mentioned, Dan, about investing into your business. Many years ago, about 10 years ago, I didn't own a house. And of course, my father was kind of on me a little bit about owning a house. And I get it. It's better to own than to rent. However, like the money I invested into my business just grew and grew and grew. Mm-hmm. And I just did the math over the last 10 years on average, if I were to sell my business today and divide it by months, that's $25,000 a month. My business has appreciated over the last 10 years.
It's a little more than your house, I bet.
You're not going to get that appreciation in a house, unless you start off with like a $5 million house. Mm-hmm. But you're just not going to get that appreciation in something personal.
Yeah, you can't. Even in somebody else's thing, right? You can't invest in somebody else's business and make that kind of money. You can only invest it in yourself and make that kind of money. And I'm not saying you shouldn't diversify and have different investments for retirement purposes. Like you maybe don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. But generally, if you gave me another $10,000, I'm probably going to spend it on marketing to grow my business. And that's really like our investment tool. If I look at maybe recruiting, Sean's not here. He probably would have said like, F you, Dan, you should spend that on recruiting.
Just take your marketing money and go recruit. That's what he says.
Always be recruiting. But literally like our business is our own personal stock market. We could go invest in somebody else's company, but why invest in somebody else's company? Like when we have our own company, if you look at even like how Fortune 500 companies run, when like, yes, they're returning money to shareholders and they are maybe making decisions to pay dividends. When they are not paying dividends, they're keeping the money internally. When they're keeping the money internally, they're spending it on growth, either on new businesses. Oftentimes for bigger companies, yeah, they have a marketing budget, but they oftentimes grow their business by buying other companies. We can do the same, right? So reinvest your money by marketing to grow your client base because that provides you a huge return. And if you're not great at marketing or can't find good marketing levers, go buy some other companies like Dave just did. That will always return you money faster than investing in somebody else's thing. Not saying that you shouldn't invest in other people's things too. And that's super fun to do, just even investing in other small businesses.
Yeah, a lot of companies grow big by they say they're going to acquire, X amount of businesses every year. And that's a fantastic way to go.